Dell Technologies is one of the world's leading technology companies or computer brands that designs, develops, and manufactures a variety of computer-related products. Have you ever heard about the business process of Dell Technologies in terms of materials management, production planning, and sales and distribution before? We're going to learn about it. Let's begin with material management.
Oh, there is insufficient material for the production of 2,000 PC. I have to create the purchase requisition now.
What is purchase requisition? A purchase requisition is an internal document used to inform the purchasing department to purchase certain goods or services that are needed. In the purchase requisition, it consists of the description of what to buy, quantity needed, when to deliver, and requester details. Now's the manager of the purchasing department received the purchase requisition.
Oh, they need around 2,000 units for each battery, motherboard, and processor.
Dell Technologies will source the components, such as the battery, SSD, motherboard, LCD, cable, and more. After the manager reviews the purchase requisition, he is going to allocate a supplier from the source list. The source list includes the long-term partner suppliers of Dell from all over the world, such as Motorola, Samsung, Sony, and more. And now's how Dell is choosing their long-term partner supplier.
We're choosing the trusted company that can provide high-quality and reliable computer components. Besides, they have to establish inventory hubs nearby Dell's assembly plants and support just-in-times and a low inventory strategy, which means they can deliver the components in a very short time and in quantity that was specifically needed. It also has to provide cost-efficient components.
That's great! Now what's going on?
Furthermore, Dell Technologies will conduct vendor evaluations called quarterly business reviews, which evaluates the suppliers by giving them scores based on sustainability, risk, security, safety, and environment. And then Dell will make purchasing decisions according to that.
Wow, they use the great method. And what's next?
After selecting the supplier, we're going to generate the purchase order based on the purchase requisition and send it to the vendor. In Dell, we'll communicate and purchase orders from the supplier through an internal website, which is Value Chain. This system enables us to access information about the inventory status of the component materials and the data within the supply chain, which is very convenient.
John, there's order from Dell Technologies.
All right, let me check from the system.
John from the supplier site reviewed and confirmed the purchase orders using the system. Now he's going to arrange the delivery of the required components to the inventory hub of Dell Technologies.
There's all the components needed by Dell and waiting for delivery.
Now's the components are successfully shipped to the inventory hubs nearby the assembly plant of Dell. It can reduce the shipping times and avoid shortages of parts of the components that will affect the production process. After they receive the components, they will check and examine the components received to see whether they align with the purchase orders, including the quantity, quality, and standards of Dell. The employee will then also record into the system where the component has been received, and the quantity in the inventory hubs will be updated and ready to ship for production. And this process is called good receipt. After that, an invoice will be generated for Dell Company. The invoice is a formal document that requests the company to make payment. It consists of the invoice number, supplier information, company information, date, purchase details, and the amount to be paid. Then, the invoice is proceeded to the accounting and finance department of Dell. They will review, verify, and make payment to the vendor according to the invoice. Then, the transaction is recorded in the financial document. That's all about material management. Now let's continue with production planning. Dell Technologies implements the strategy of the build-to-order method in the production. This can avoid excess inventory where the production will begin when the customer places an order. Besides, Dell uses lean manufacturing and just-in-time systems. What do they mean? Lean manufacturing means using the fewest resources to maximize productivity. As in Dell, it prevents inventory excess, overproduction, and minimizes the cost. Furthermore, JIT systems produce the product at the right time with the required quantity. In Dell, the material will be sent to the assembly plant on time when needed in order to maintain a low inventory. Meanwhile, this helps Dell to respond quickly to the demand by producing their product when there is a new merged product requirement in the market. Let's see their production planning process.
How much should we produce this month?
We've predicted that there will be a 15% increase in orders this month. So we have to produce more in this month.
Great.
The COO, sales director, and production manager are having meetings together to discuss the production this month. From there, forecasting is one of the major parts of production planning. How's the forecasting conducted?
In the Dell Company, we forecast the operations of production based on the changing market conditions, historical data of products, customer demands, and purchasing plans of the largest relationship customers. Therefore, a master production plan for 12 months is then formed. This production plan will be updated continually by the changing market conditions. After that, the production department will continue the process. In here, the master production plan is converted into a material requirement plan. Material requirement planning is about planning the materials that are required for production. It will be made up of master production schedule, bill of materials, order details, routing and lead time information. Let's get in each of the components. A master production schedule is about how many products are produced and when the product is needed. A bill of materials consists of a list of materials that are needed to produce a product. For example, Dell needs storage device, memory, battery, system fan, motherboard, keyboard, and more to assemble a laptop. Then, routing is what, where, and when the product is produced. And lastly, the lead time information is the time it takes to order the materials until the materials are delivered and the time taken to produce the product. Other than that, Dell uses Dell Supply Chain Initiatives and I2 rhythms to improve the planning process. DSI2 optimizes the planning of demand and supply, build-to-order production schedule, and product delivery process, and balancing the fluctuating customer order conditions through web-based communication. And then the I2 rhythms assist Dell to determine how many of each component type is needed to meet the final production requirements.
Let's continue the process. Now's the production orders based on the MRP is issued through the system. The production order includes the product to be produced, quantity needed, components needed, timeline, and more.
Hey, inventory hubs. This is production department calling. Please check the orders and arrange materials for delivered to assembly plant of Dell.
The components needed are delivered to the assembly line on time. Dell has several final assembly plants all around the world to design and assemble the computers, such as in Malaysia, Thailand, China, Vietnam, Taiwan, Mexico, Brazil, Ireland, India, United States, and Poland. After receiving the components, the line workers started to assemble the computers to fulfill the orders. And now the QA team will test and evaluate the finished products to ensure they provide high-quality products to the customers. Finally, the finished product is sent to the warehouse and prepared for shipment. Lastly, in this order settlement stage, it involves cost analysis, which calculates and analyzes the actual cost, target cost, selling price, and the variance between the target cost and actual cost. The cost analysis report is then created for future enhancement if needed. That's all about production planning. Let's continue to the last process, sales and distribution. It's too lag. The PCs of an audit firm were outdated, with many problems occurring. They then wanted to purchase 25 PCs from Dell. They go through the website for selection. Other than that, Dell have many different channels to sell their products, such as department stores, computer stores, websites, phones, and eBay for many years. And they are popular with direct sales model, which means Dell removes the intermediary in the channel process and directly sells the product to the customers. For example, they uses two websites, which are Dell.com for the normal customers and Premier.Dell specifically for corporate customers. This is a valuable method that helps them to reduce the costs and distributed the computers more easily to the customers. Not only that, Dell can have greater control over their product and price, which they provide their customers with a choice of personalized configuration on their computer at a reasonable price to meet their needs. And now what the employee will do after selecting the PC they want.
After deciding the model of PC, we'll send an inquiry to Dell to request a quotation. The inquiry includes details of computer models, quantities, custom configurations, and desired date that we needed.
Once Dell receives the inquiry, the sales department of Dell will review the inquiry and create a quotation for the audit company. The quotation is a legally binding document that responds to the inquiry of the customer. In the quotation, it will list out the product details, price, quantity, and time frame. Now that the audit company receives the quotation, they review and decide the purchase. After they confirmed, they sign the quotation and get back to Dell. And then the sales order is formed from the quotation. In the sales order, it consists of customer information, product details such as product name, quantity, price, and delivery details. The sales order is then updated into the system. At this time, the customer master data is formed, and the production department arranges the assembly of customized computers, checks availability of components, conducts material requirements planning, and arranges shipping schedules. Besides, Dell is in build-to-order mode, which falls under the forward scheduling, which means the computers are built based on the orders of the customers, and the product will be produced and delivered as soon as possible before the due date. This is an effective way to reduce surplus of inventory. Then, the line workers will start to assemble the PCs and send to the inventory hub. According to Dell, they will receive the components every 2 hours to fulfill the actual customer orders to ensure there is no overstock. And then now is the order fulfillment process. The line workers in the inventory hubs picking up the 25 units of PC based on the orders using a management system to increase the efficiency during the process. The PCs are then moved to the packing area, and the workers will pack them carefully with protection to prevent damage during the delivery process. After that, the PCs are ready for shipment. This process is so-called post-good issue, which means that the ownership of good has transferred from Dell to the audit company, and the inventory of Dell is reduced. This will also be updated to the system. Then, the 25 PCs are successfully delivered to the audit company. Dell's JIT system ensures the product is delivered to the customer quickly, preferably within less than 6 days, in order to minimize the holding times. Lastly, the audit company will receive invoices from the online billing portal of Dell automatically, which specify the product details and delivery details. This portal is very convenient for customers to make their payment. After payment is done, the order is settled. That's all for the business process of Dell. Thank you for watching.